Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Hanindya Ramadhani. So in today's presentation, we will be discussing about submarine and some of its components. Firstly, I will explain about the definition of submarine with its general function, and then I will explain some of the components in the submarine as well as their function. And lastly, I will show some examples of the world's biggest submarines. Before we go any further to find out about submarines, surely we need to know the general definition of submarine. So, what is a submarine? The submarine is a craft that moves or operates underwater. Submarines are specifically built and designed to operate underwater for a given period of time. In its operation, submarines have a particular technique for being able to float or sink below the surface of the water in a certain depth that has been adapted to their ability. Among the functions and purposes of submarine development for military interests and objectives, submarines are also used for scientific purposes such as underwater research to discover the underwater life, and it can also be used for underwater rescue. In its operation, the submarine has its support components to operate both at water levels and underwater. These are the picture of the components of submarine. The main part of the submarine is the main ballast tank. This is a component that controls the ship's existence. If it takes to dive, the tank should be filled with a weight. In this case, water used for ballast so that the ship will be heavy and able to dive in a certain depth. Whereas if the ship has to return to the surface, it must be filled with air so that the ship will be lighter and able to float. Another important component of the submarine is the main motor. The main motor in the submarine serves to drive the propeller. Usually there are 4 main motors used to propel the propeller. In order to operate, the main motor is powered by fuel, which is stored in a fuel tank at the bottom of the submarine. Then at the top of the submarine are the components of navigational devices consisting of periscope, radar, and sonar. Periscope is used to visually search for the nearby targets and threats at the surface of the water and in the air when the submarine is in a relatively shallow depth. Usually there are 2 types of periscope used in a submarine. These are the attack periscope and search periscope. The search periscope is used to provide the navigation purposes, while the attack periscope is designed specifically so that the retrieved data could be used to configure inputs in the weapon control systems. And then the radar component of the submarine used to measure and detect the distance of an object in the vicinity of the ship. And the last one is the sonar. Sonar used to detect an object through the sound waves. So that's some of the components in the submarine that I can explain. These are the pictures of the world's biggest submarines. The first rank was occupied the Russian Navy's Typhoon-class submarine, and closely followed by Russia's newest submarine, the Boris-class and Oscar II-class submarine as the second and the third ranks. And the fourth ranks is the United States Navy's Ohio-class. I think that's all for my presentation. Thanks for watching this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.